Good morning, everybody. My name is Sarah. I hope you guys are having a great day. It is Saturday, and as such, by default, I'm having an excellent day because I'm not, in fact, at work. But I wanted to show you guys something super cool. Well, I think it's cool, and I hope you guys think it's cool because you are very much involved in it. Ready? Wait for it. So last night when I went to sleep, I had 97 subscribers. Today, I have 103. So I think for me, that is like the first benchmark for number of subscribers, is reaching 100. I know I said in my goal video for New Year's that I wanted to reach 100 subscribers by the end of January, and I didn't know if that was a possibility. So that is super cool to me that now on January, what is it? 14th, I am already over 100 subscribers, which is great. I know it's small. I know there's YouTubers out there with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers, but you have to start somewhere, and I don't expect to be something viral and fantastic, but I'm glad people are enjoying some of the content I'm putting out, and I'm hoping to kind of develop and come up with new ideas, especially as we get into the summer here, where there's a little bit more availability to get outside and do stuff and share things and, you know, vacations and stuff like that. So I am so glad that there are people out there enjoying my videos, and I'm hoping to produce more and better content. So thank you guys so much. Reaching 100 subscribers today, that's awesome. That actually makes me feel pretty great. I was going to go outside and ride today. That was my wishful thinking. It's actually not too bad, but it's cold. It's about 25 degrees, and I think the wind chill is actually in the teens. So I'm going to keep it inside today, mainly because my roommates at work and all my friends and family are kind of a distance from me, and if I get out on the road and have a mechanical issue or a flat tire, things like that, where I've got to take gloves off and try to fix it, and maybe I can't fix it, I don't want to get stuck out in the road in like a dangerous situation, because usually where I ride is a little bit more desolate, not like there's no real nearby gas stations or stores for me to pop into. So I'm probably going to keep it inside, so I'm going to do that a little bit later. I don't want to waste the daylight. I could do that anytime today. So unfortunately there will be no bike adventures today for those people who like that type of thing. Looks like no skiing either. As you could see out there, there's no snow. So anyway, I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. And now I want to get into a funky little art project that I hope you guys can maybe try at home and you might like. To run out and pick up one more thing for my little art project, and we'll get started. Apparently the Dollar Tree is the happening place to be today. So morning news of the day. I usually, when I go to the store, I don't need to be on my cell phone the whole time. If you look in the average, like, cashier's line, you got a bunch of people who are playing on their cell phones because basically we can't be not stimulated for even 3 seconds of our lives without feeling like, you know, we're engaged with something, because we can't possibly be seen not on our cell phones. Generally speaking, unless I have something specific to do or a call to make or a text message to send, I'll just stand there patiently. And as I'm standing in the line at this Dollar Tree here, there was a man with his daughter, probably around 4 or 5 years old, and he said, you know, put that down, and she wouldn't put it down right away. She wasn't being a brat, she was just being a 4-year-old, spaced out, looking at, you know, whatever she was playing with. He goes, you ever been punched in the esophagus? And she says, no, Daddy. Well, there's a first time for everything. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny because he said it as a joke, but I feel like this day and age he's asking to get walked out of there in handcuffs because everybody's so damn sensitive. But I thought it was a little bit funny. In case you hadn't already noticed, my YouTube accountability index is probably at about a 0. I'm actually gonna bring that shit inside today. Alright, so my little art project today are actually slime stress balls. I found this, I think it might have been a Pinterest article or something, I don't even remember. I found it randomly online. And I thought it was kind of cool. It could make a cool gift idea for people at work or friends and family, or for kids. I think kids would love it, or even if you just want them for yourself around the house, just as kind of some kind of stress release. But it's really cheap and easy to make, and it's just, I thought it was kind of cool. So I want to make my first set, and I was going to do it live on video so that I can share the experience and hopefully not make that much of a mess. So what you need to make it is pretty simple. You'll need some cornstarch or cornflour, depending on where in the world you are. So I've got cornstarch here. You're gonna need water, nothing specific. We're not gonna deal in specific measurements here, but just grab yourself some water or do this in the kitchen. Doesn't matter what temperature the water is, so I just have a jug of water here. You're gonna need some kind of, either you could use a measuring cup, just something with a spout on the end, or you could use a bowl and a funnel, whatever you have lying around. You're gonna mix in here, and then you wanna pipe that into just a repurposed plastic bottle, like a pop bottle or something like that. But in order to get your slime from here to here, you need kind of a mechanism to do so. So I'm gonna use the spout on this one. And then you're gonna need balloons. I've got a couple different types of balloons. Use a pretty decent latex balloon. So these are just kind of some different polka dot balloons, and I have some marble balloons. I think I'm gonna put the marble balloons over the top, so they'll be kind of cool looking when we're done. So, first things first. Take my trusty knife here, as my cat is screaming, and I'm gonna open up the cornstarch or cornflour. And I'm just gonna probably dump this in until it's about 1/3 of the way full. That should be good to start. I'm not gonna make that many. You could start with less and add more, it's up to you. So I'm just gonna start with this for the purpose of this video. And then I'm gonna add water a little bit at a time. I'm just gonna start by bringing it right up to the point of the top of the cornstarch. You're actually gonna mix this up with your hands, because you're gonna really judge this by feel. So right now it's really chunky and actually kind of gross. So I'm gonna keep adding more water. I have cats that want to eat my slime. So you'll keep adding water and your cornstarch until you get the consistency that you want. It starts to get kind of gross. You're just going to try to get it to an even consistency. You'll see that some of the cornstarch likes to stick to the side of the bowl or your mechanism here. So you just want to kind of break that up and pull that into the water until you get like a nice even consistency. And what you're going to get is you're going to get something that's somewhat pliable and sticky, but this isn't going to be like a gack. This is going to be kind of still a liquid slime, and it's going to have the tendency to kind of settle. And the interesting thing about this is if you try to stab it with your fingers, it's going to be hard. You're only going to be able to get about halfway through. If you're going real slowly, you can touch the bottom of the bowl. You'll know that when you have that particular kind of bounce, that you have the right consistency. But you still want it to be liquid enough that you can pour it. So you can kind of mold this with your hands, and then it'll run right through your fingers once you stop moving it. So it's going to be kind of the perfect consistency to have a stress ball. So once you have your desired consistency, this is when your little plastic bottle is going to come into play, and you're going to try to pour it as carefully as possible into the bottle. This is just like a shitty arts and crafts table, so it's already covered in oil paints and the works, so I don't really care if I make a mess. But because this stuff is, it is water soluble, so to clean up, just some extra water, you can also just kind of scoop this stuff up, and when you scoop it up fast enough, it kind of stays as like a little ball in your fingers until you let it go, and then it drips away. Alright, so once you have everything in your bottle, you're going to grab your balloons. So I'm going to put one of these colored polka dots as my first balloon. I want to put one of the marble ones on the top. So I'm going to pick, I'm just going to pick a blue one. It doesn't matter. You're not really going to be able to see it. And what you'll do is you'll take the end of the balloon and strap it over the top of this plastic bottle. And you'll tip it in there. And you'll just squeeze and pipe some of this. My cats are wild. Into your balloon until you kind of have your desired size. So you're adding a little bit of pressure here, and that's about a good palm size for me. So what I'll do is I'll kind of cinch off the end here. And I'll tie it off. So already you got something that's real kind of moldable in your hands. But you're going to end up with a little bit of a propensity to stick your finger in here and dig your nail in. So that's where the second balloon's going to come into play. So I'm going to grab one of these marble balloons because I like the design on them a little bit more. And I'm going to open them up and I'm just going to put one over the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut the end of the knot off here with a pair of scissors. Not my trusty knife because I can't be trusted with something like that. That way I just have this short knot on the end, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this balloon inside of this balloon, not inwards, so that the knot is actually in the base of this other side here. To make this a little bit easier, take the end of your outer balloon and cut off the edge of it before you even try to put it on. That way you have a larger place to put your stress ball inside of, and it is not quite as stubborn as getting around that tapered base of the balloon. Alright, that's kind of tough to get on your own, but if you muscle it in there and you use both hands and pre-stretch the balloon, you can get it on. But you might want a little help, somebody to hold the balloon, the outer balloon apart, while you stick the inner one in. And what I'm going to finally do is I'm going to knot off the end of this thing. Like I did the other balloon on the inside. I'll take my scissors and I'll just cut off the excess so that it's a nice clean finish. There actually isn't a whole lot of excess here, so that's nice. And that's it. You got yourself a nice little stress ball. You can make them as big or as small as you want, any color you want, and you'll feel that it starts to get kind of hard inside. And sometimes if you don't use it for a while, that this will settle and you'll feel like it'll get clumpy and hard. But as soon as you start to play with it, that water will absorb right back into the cornstarch and you'll have yourself a nice little stress ball. So I thought that was kind of a neat art project, something that I thought was kind of cool. These are really kind of cool looking and something to play with. I'll probably stick this on my desk, but it's pretty cathartic actually. I'm impressed. I could play with this thing all day. So hopefully you guys will try this out. You might have some of these ingredients laying around your house, and that is a slime stress ball. So these are the finished products. I cleaned them up. They were a little bit dusty with the cornstarch, but I made a smaller one with the excess. I actually think I kind of like this one a little bit better. Fits my hand a little bit better, but I think they're kind of cool. They're pretty durable. I throw it at the floor. And the nice thing is that they are non-toxic. They're just made out of cornstarch or corn flour and water. So if you do break one, your kid breaks one, or your pet starts to eat one, you're not gonna get poisoned by cornstarch. It might not feel so hot if you eat this thing, but it's pretty safe to have around. So I think it's a cool project to have with kids, or just a fun thing for adults. And like I said, I think I'm gonna throw this on my desk and play with it all the time. Well, before I get settled in for my ride, I gotta go run out and do an errand I've been putting off for a couple weeks. Something extremely exciting. I'm gonna go buy pants. Not even the kind of pants that I want. Work pants. So number one, spending money on pants that you wear to work is always just, you know, a pain in the ass, especially considering, you know, the pants I wear to work have the potential to get dirty. I don't really get dirty doing my job, but there's a possibility when I'm inspecting products that we have and moving through all the production areas that I can get oil on my pants or dirt or dust or whatever. So I don't want to wear anything, you know, super nice there. I basically stick to some black dress pants. I have like 4 or 5 pairs that I just wear every day during the week. You know, black tends to hide quite a bit, so, you know, oil staining, things like that. If I happen to, you know, run into something, you know, in the plant, it pretty much washes away, or you can't really see it much. You don't want to wear like a nice pair of khakis or anything that's going to start to show stains, and then I'm just going to have to throw it out. But here's the problem. You start to wear pants every day, and so here's the issue I have with pants. And I don't know if guys' pants are the same way, but women's pants, they decide that they want to put spandex in everything. Jeans, dress pants. I mean, we're not talking about yoga pants. I get it, they're gonna have spandex in them. But we put spandex in all of our textiles now. I guess, you know, you want your clothes to have a little bit of give in, you know, maybe the hip area or areas that you're gonna, you know, articulate and bend your body. But I think they put it in there more because women like to buy a pair of pants, maybe a size smaller than they actually are. Who gives a shit? Who's looking at your tag? Just buy pants that fit. We don't need spandex. And the issue with the spandex is that once you start wearing those pants over and over again, you wash them over and over again, those little strands of spandex woven in, they start to like break down or break or wear out, and then your pants are stretched, like permanently stretched. So I have this issue with all of my pairs of work pants at this point, where they'll basically only fit out of the dryer, and then by the time you get a few hours into the day, you're constantly pulling them up, and it's just like, I don't, like, I'm in a professional environment. I don't want to be constantly pulling up my pants, and even with a belt, you know, they don't fit right anymore. They fit when I buy them, and then after some washes and wear, they don't fit anymore because we have to put spandex in everything. Ban the spandex for everything except for Lycra, because, you know, I'm a cyclist and I can't ban it there. But let me know, those of you who are men who watch my my videos, let me know. Like, look at the tag on your jeans or your pants. Is there spandex? It's usually 3% spandex that I find in most, like, name brand, you know, jeans or textiles to that effect, whatever. But let me know if you have spandex in your pants and if they've created issues for you, wardrobe malfunctions. Thank God I've never been pantsed at work, but at any rate, I'm gonna go buy some new work pants. You ever meet one of those people who just wants to make small talk about everything? Okay, so have you ever been around or behind somebody at a store that just insists on running their mouth just nonstop, not even in a derogatory way, just loves hearing the sound of their own voice, or I don't know what it is. I just don't like small talk. I'm not the type of person that needs to fill silence by, you know, what's the weather like, or, you know, my aunt did this one day, and guess what the zip code is in Punxsutawney. Like, I don't care. But I was stuck behind this person in line looking to cash out for the one pair of pants the entire store had in my size. That wasn't weird. I just wanted a basic pair of black pants, and they either had zippers on, or they weren't the right size, or just bizarre. Zipper pockets. You don't need zipper pockets in dress pants. Anyway, so this woman is talking to this cashier. When I first walk up, it sounds like they're like friends, like the way that she's talking, sharing information about the gifts she's buying for this, you know, the newborn baby, and, you know, that they know each other. As I'm standing there waiting in line for her to finish her transaction, I realize they don't know each other at all, and she's just sharing her life story with this cashier who's getting paid probably $10 an hour, who's being very, very courteous and customer service specialist. Okay, this woman is a saint for dealing with that. But I don't think that woman stopped talking for like 8 solid minutes, and every time this woman even tried to respond with a sentence or make interesting conversation, it was cut off by this woman who just wanted to talk. So anyway, not a big fan of small talk, and not a big fan of being stuck in line with one pair of pants behind somebody who wants to make 8 minutes worth of small talk. Alright, I'm gonna get my ass home and I'm gonna ride my bike. I think I'm just bored. Video games and cycling. 2 of my favorite things. Alright, ride done. Gonna get showered, go to bed. I think it's funny in Zwift, whenever I hear the birds chirping in the background, it sounds like an obnoxious squeaky chain. But I like to leave the sound effects on because, I don't know, I like that sound over the cobbles and the rain and stuff, so I guess I'll have to deal with the squeaky chain noise. But yeah, thank you guys who have subscribed. I'm super excited about having over 100 subscribers. I appreciate it. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, give me your input, suggestions. I'm really having a lot of fun doing this. It is challenging, so I kind of like the challenge of trying to come up with at least something to, you know, talk about or do on these videos. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, subscribing, commenting. I'm having so much fun. Alright, I'll catch you guys in the next one.